You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ12. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ12 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Y'all already know what time it is. Got a really dope tech testimony. He's only been in tech for a few months now. And to date, he is making around 130K. I'm going to let him speak to that more. But what's really fire is that, again, he just got into tech a few months ago. He's been able to scale. He's a married man. It's always dope to see. But the crazy part is that he has no background or experience when it comes to this space, which is not the first time seeing it. But I know many of y'all are new to the Tech is New Black platform. You're new to learning about different people getting into the tech industry. And one thing that I've noticed is that more and more of you have been asking, you've been like, yo, Cyrus, do I need to have a background, or do I need to have a specific experience? And I've said time and time again, no, that's not the case. It always helps. It's always beneficial, but it's not a necessity to have that. And so I'm excited for him to come on, for him to talk about his, okay, cool. All right, bet. All right, yeah, I'm excited for him to come on and for him to tell his story and really be able to go into it. Of course, as always, y'all already know, he did a tech boot camp, specifically a tech sales boot camp. And he did the tech sales boot camp that I'm usually talking about, the one that I personally believe is the best, which is Course Careers. And so for those of y'all that are interested in a discount to the same boot camp that he did, just comment SDR on Instagram, comment SDR. But on YouTube, LinkedIn, y'all just look at the description breakdown underneath the video and you'll see the discount link. The discount is attached specifically to that link. If you go to the site, there's no discount code or promo code. It's directly to that link. But that being said, I'm really excited for him to share his story. Again, make sure y'all are taking notes. Make sure y'all are asking valuable questions. Of course, I'm prioritizing questions from the techpreneur community. So make sure that you are asking valuable questions. Post your questions in the question bubble below on Instagram and on LinkedIn and YouTube. Make sure you're posting your questions in the chat. We're only acknowledging questions. If they're on Instagram, we're only acknowledging them if they are in the proper question bubble section. If you don't know where that's at, grab your computer and Google where that is. So Instagram can point out where that is for you so we can answer your questions. That being said, man, sorry for everybody that missed TechpreneurCon this past weekend. It was crazy. It was a good time. It was beautiful. But we'll talk more about that later. For now, we're going to go ahead and get into Daryl's story. Daryl, bro, man, I already said this before we hopped on here. Oh, there's like a little bit of wind or something that I'm hearing in my ear. Do you have like a fan or something in the room? Or am I tripping? Let me check. There might be something. Yeah. Are y'all hearing anything? Or is it just me? If it's just me, we'll rock. We'll keep it pushing.
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess everybody else fine. Look, if other people ain't saying nothing about it, then I'm good. We're gonna keep it pushing.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's just me then. It's just gonna be maybe. Yeah, bro. So yeah, man. So I said this already, but I'll say it again. Let me adjust my screen so we're more lined up. Yeah, bro. I said this already, but I'll say it again, man. Congratulations, bro, on not just breaking into tech, but scaling. We talk a lot about breaking into tech. And one thing I typically see are a lot of people getting in the industry but then they're not scaling. Scaling doesn't just mean job hopping. It could just mean moving up in the company. But scaling in and of itself usually reflects that you're doing your thing. You're not just getting in the industry and chilling, but you are actually putting that work in. And so, bro, let's talk about it just on a high level real quick. So, how long have you been in the tech industry, and what role do you currently do in tech, and roughly about how much do you make right now?
So I've been in tech. Next month will be my 6th month. I'm a BDR, and roughly I'm making base minimum like 130,000. So it's a lot more, but I'm just kind of just throwing that out there. Just
Yo, we love to hear. We love to hear, bro. And so you said you've been in now. You said you're coming up on 6 months since you've been in the industry. So I've already kind of thrown it out there that you did Course Careers Bootcamp. And if you can just explain to everyone, okay, so how long did it take you personally to do the bootcamp? And somebody said base. Yeah, base. So how long did it take you to do the bootcamp? And then after you finished the bootcamp, how long was it between finishing the bootcamp and between when you actually got your first offer letter, or at least got the offer letter that you accepted?
Yeah. So I started Course Careers and I didn't even finish it. I'm be honest with you. I started it. I got through half of it in like 2 days. I was like, there's no way that I'm about to finish this, because everything it was saying, it was just already me. It was just really about applying. So after seeing your videos on YouTube and people like, oh, I started applying before, I just kind of took that to the next level. And then from when I got my offer letter, it took about 2 weeks.
Yeah. So I love that a lot. And I love that you went that route, because that you decided to start applying before you even finished the boot camp. I think it's really dope. Oftentimes people wait until they finish. And I'm like, yo, you could have, a lot of companies respect the fact that you're just in a course, that you're getting that education, especially something like tech sales. Someone said you need to speak more into the mic.
All right, I'm gonna change my earphones real quick. Give me 1 second.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so for the people that are asking what is BDR, remember, put your questions in the proper question bubble. This is the only question I'm going to answer that's not in the question bubble. But after this, we're only answering questions that are in the question bubble. Okay.
Does that sound better?
Oh yeah, a lot better.
Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, you booming now. You booming.
Yes, sir.
But let me raise my chair up a little bit. Oh, I'm mad. My chair don't go up higher than that. I'm embarrassed. But dang,
get a pillow.
Yeah, I know, right? But no. So for those that are asking, BDR stands for Business Development Representative. If you can explain to everyone what a BDR is, just so you can kind of talk more to it.
Yeah, BDR is a business development rep. It has everything to do with expanding the revenue of the company, increasing the pipeline, which is typically the leads. My company in particular, it's a little bit different because I'm the only person on the sales team. So I'm playing a lot of roles right now, but I'm directly under the CEO. So for me, what I'm doing, that's just my title, but I'm doing something totally different.
Okay, and for those that are unfamiliar, BDR and SDR are roughly, they're basically the same thing. Like you could do a SDR boot camp. Like the boot camp he did was a SDR, but it also is BDR. They overlap with both. Most companies here look at them synonymously. But either way, so those that are like, what is a BDR? It's very similar to a SDR. Some companies treat it differently, but most treat them virtually the exact same. And so, you excuse me if I missed this part. So how long was it? I heard you answer it, but I was looking at one of the questions. How long was it between, basically, how long did it take you to actually start at your first tech company?
So once I started applying, I got my offer letter 2 weeks later.
I love it. And so, all right, bro, that's lit. And when you, let's go a little bit further back. So what were you doing? As I see, one of the things people want to know is about your experience, because something you told me and something that I shared was, hey, he's making, like you mentioned, base pay 130K.
No, I'm sorry. My OTE is 130, but it's
Oh, your
uncapped.
OTE. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, that makes sense. Yeah. So, all right. So your OTE or on target earnings, for those that don't know, is 130K, but it's uncapped, meaning you can make more. Because yeah, my first tech job in tech sales, but I was a sales engineer. It was 90K, but I was on track to do anywhere between a 98 to 105K based on how I was performing. I left the company before I got to see what it was actually going to look like, and that's when I job hopped for more money. But off of me though. So back to you. So we know where you're at now, which is dope. But let's go back. What were you doing? What were you doing before you were even thinking about getting into tech sales? And what sparked the interest, the desire? Like, let's just go there. So what were you doing beforehand? And then lead us up to the day you were like, yo, I'm going to go ahead and pursue tech sales.
Yeah, so I was actually driving semi trucks. So I was truck driving for like the last 5 years. And prior to that, I was building online stores and doing marketing on like Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it was just time for me to get out the truck. Honestly, I was just like, I'm not about to continue in this. The industry is not the best. So like, what is it that I can do that translates with my personality, and I can just kind of go do that and obviously move up. And really, I was just praying about it because I was telling the Lord, like, I just got to get out the truck. I want to be present in my home, present with my friends. Like, I just want to be available and accessible. And I literally searched on YouTube how to transfer out of the semi truck to a regular life. And the only video that popped up was tech sales.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And so when you watched, did you I'm assuming you might have watched more videos than that, but when you watched that video, like what was it about? I guess like what led you to believe that it was legit? Because obviously there's a lot of captains out here. What was it that led you to be like, yo, I believe this is legitimate and I'm gonna go ahead and pursue this route?
I would say so. When I saw that video, I was like, what is tech sales? I started looking into it, and then I looked it up on YouTube, and your video popped up, and it was like a day in the life of a sales engineer. So after that video, I immediately wanted to be a sales engineer because I'm like, whatever he's doing, like I can do that. I want to be at home, waking up in my scriptures, stuff like that, and just set my schedule for the day. And then I seen the careers. That's the course you took as well. And when I seen careers, I was like, man, I don't got the 4 bands. I was like, I can't drop that right now. So that led me to course careers. And I was like, okay, well, it's 450. I can make that happen. Like whatever it is, like I can make that happen. And then, like I said, I was already praying about it before. And just the relationship I have with God, like he'll just throw stuff out there like that. Like I'll put in the work and he'll just place it in front of me and then I'll just go get it. So
that's real.
Yeah.
Yo, that's real. Faith without works is dead. I love it. I love it. Yo, that's big. That's big, man. That's beautiful. And so you did the course. You didn't even finish it before you ended up landing something, which is, we've seen that a lot. I think maybe 1 out of every 6 people that I've interviewed that have done the same boot camp, 1 out of every 6 didn't finish the boot camp before they landed a role. Which again is I say this all the time, like the industry is in such high demand for tech sales that it's like many times if they see, okay, you have some training when it comes to tech sales, even if it's not like all the training fully, the companies will be like, yo, if you interview well enough, you communicate well enough, you're confident enough, you show them those pieces, man, then companies will be like, yeah, we'll go ahead and take a gamble on you. And so can you explain to us, because when you started your first tech company, what was that, October of last year?
It was really November. I signed the offer letter in October, and then I started beginning November.
Okay, dope. So you started signed the offer letter, started in November. Now, when you started, it was around the time that like the job market is picking back up again for most industries. It was around the time that it wasn't starting to pick back up yet. And so I definitely want you to speak to what you were doing during the interview process, because, there were people, especially back then, but even now, there are people that are still hesitant about pursuing a career in tech, which, if anybody goes on LinkedIn and you type in SDR, you're going to see tens of thousands of companies that are hiring for SDRs right now. Nevertheless, there are still people that are hesitant. And then there are other people that honestly, they don't even know what to do when it comes to interviewing, when it comes to applying, when it comes to questions to ask the recruiter or how to answer certain questions. So, bro, can you speak to what do you feel? And obviously, there's the favor of God that was on you, but in the midst of God's favor, what were you doing action-wise to be able to land a role so quickly? Like, what was your application process like? And then when you were in those interviews, what was that process looking like in the interviews and stuff?
Yeah, so I actually landed 2 interviews. And I created something where you got regular people who apply for a job or submit an application, and then you got the other people who actually apply for the job. So I created a difference in my own head where I said, well, okay, most people just submit application, wait for a response. Then you got other people who send Loom videos, things of that nature. So I started really getting creative. And with the first job that I landed the interview with, I literally reached out to the VP of sales, introduced myself. I introduced myself to like 5 people in the company, had conversations. Like I became well known within this company. And then I looked on their website. They had a link where you could book a demo, like to test their product. So I booked it. The account executive called me. He was like, hey, I see you're interested. But I told him, like, look, I'm trying to learn about this so I can have some knowledge to bring to the interview. And then I turned around and pitched him. And then he was just like, we need you on the team. Like, he was like, listen, outside of this, I want to, like, we can have a actual conversation. Like, I really want to help you out because like nobody's actually doing this. So then another member of the sales team, I sent her my resume and I was like, hey, what do you think? I got a cover letter, resume. And she tweaked it. She was like, look, I need to know, what do you plan to do at this job? Because you're giving me, okay, I'm gonna learn about the product in 30 days, things of that nature, but what action steps, how many calls you're gonna make, how many emails you're gonna send. So she critiqued my resume, and then I actually sent that to the VP of sales. So she was telling me like little tidbit information like, oh, we like people who's coachable, humble, things of that nature. And then I added all of that to my resume because she gave me all of the sauce. I was just like, listen, I'm about to go get this job. Like I'm not making no excuse. So send that to the VP of sales. And one thing I found out was that she liked rugby. So I was like, hey, the rugby finals coming up. I love football. So who you going for? And she was like, how you know I like rugby? I'm like, I've been doing my homework. But these companies, they want people to do their homework.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I ended up landing that interview. Unfortunately, when I got to the interview, they didn't approve me because the recruiter was like, you don't have no experience. Like this was a high level. It was a remote job. It paid great. And I was just shooting straight for the stars. So she was just like, nope. I'm like, all right, well, I'll be back. So then another company reached out.
I'm gonna spin that block on y'all. Just hold on.
Yeah. So another company reached out. I was like, okay, this pay a little bit less. It's like $20 an hour, but it's going to look good on my resume. So that now when I come back, not only do I have the experience, but I could sell myself. So I'm just going to come with it. So I did that. And what was it? I'm sorry. What was the second question you asked me?
I don't even remember the second question. I just got caught up in the story myself.
Okay. Well, yeah, I just finished it. So I landed that job. And then my manager at this job, she was very good at building small teams. So she was like, I hired you because I believe in you. Like we have interviews, this and that nature. You ain't never been in this industry. So I'm about to train you up. And she was on me and she helped instill something in me that set me up for the job that I have now. So yeah, that was how I got into tech. Like that was how I broke into tech. But like I said, that process, the first week, it was all outreach on my behalf. And the second week was just interviews.
Yo, that's incredible, man. Incredible for real. So I love it so much because oftentimes whenever people are breaking into tech, even myself, I usually don't encourage people to accept an entry-level role that's below 65. If they're making decent money already, then I'll usually encourage them to not accept anything under 75. But then there are some times where I tell people like, yo, if you're able to accept something that's lower just to get in faster, and then now, you rock it out with that company for 2 to 4 or 5 months, that opens the door now to the companies that are going to pay you 120, 130,000. And you'll be doing virtually the same thing or relatively the same thing, but now you just doubled or tripled what you were getting before. So again, I don't tell people to do that up front. I usually wait until, let's say if somebody hits me up and they're like, yo, Cyrus, I did this boot camp. And like whenever it's people who it's been like 5 or 6 months and they don't have a job yet, usually at that point, I'm like, okay, it's taking you a little bit longer than most people. You probably should accept a lower offer, because just to get in the industry, and then now you'll be able to get those bigger numbers and be able to scale from there. Usually up front, I don't encourage people to do that, but bro, big hats off to you for you making that move yourself. You've been like, I'm gonna go ahead and do this just so I can get in. And the company that you're at now,
and I can also speak to that too, because when I shut my trucking company down, I downsized all my life expenses. So I was able to take a job at $20 an hour because it's feeding my family well, covering all my bills. So I adjusted my life based on that. And now, I can obviously increase it as I see fit.
That's incredible, bro. That's incredible, for real, for real. And so the company that you're at now, though, because you job hop since then, so you're at another company now. The one that you're at now, I'm assuming it's not the company. You're still not at the company that you said you're going to spend a block on.
No.
Yeah. Do you like what you're making right now? Is it still not at the number that the other company is talking about? That like originally?
No, the other company, it was less. They were less.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I was going to spin a block if I didn't have no other options.
Yeah.
So I only applied there because I never been in tech. So now that I've been in tech, I'm like, there's no way I just said that. Like, bro, I raised my stock. So I just applied to the companies I wanted.
Exactly. Price went up.
Yeah.
Price went up. Yes, hey, bro, that's so incredible, man. I love that. I love that for real for you. So, you're a married man, you're a husband.
Yep.
And obviously a believer. We talked about that a little bit. So let's talk about it. So you've been married for a few years. What are you? Let me ask this first. Are you working remote?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, boom. So that's beautiful. That's literally what you wanted. You wanted to, go from being a truck driver doing the trucking industry to being like, okay, let me spend more time with my loved ones. So how has this affected your life? How has it affected your marriage? And then even money wise, like, again, I know that, I doubt you just immediately upsize your life right away.
No,
but
no.
Yeah.
You got to be done with wisdom.
Yeah, exactly. But how has working remote now and having more money, how has it affected your life, your marriage, your peace of mind, if it's affected those things at all?
Yeah, most definitely. So I'd say this, and I could speak for majority of truck drivers, and I'm speaking of like 98%. It is very hard to get out of the semi truck. Having that freedom, and I mean, it's not paying what it used to pay, but back then it was just like a regular job would never compare to that.
Yeah.
So me being like, I got married in 2019, and I've been truck driving all the way up until last year, till I broke into tech. And the main thing was just being away from home. I mean, it's not fair to my wife. I just, in general, like as a man with a family, I need to be present in my own home. So, and like I said, that led me to constant prayer with God. Cause I'm like, look, like, okay, this has been paying my bills, but I also am starting to feel like I went on this journey myself. But, I met my wife through it and things of that nature. So it didn't necessarily hurt, but I was just like, okay, well, what's next? Because like, I was literally dying in the truck. Like, that's the best way I could put it. Like, truckers sacrifice their health so much. Like, people don't even understand. You don't sleep, you don't eat. There's no good food on the road. So it was just like, I'm either going to stay here and just end it, or I'm going to provide for my family. And I seen everybody else that wasn't truck drivers. I'm like, well, they making it work. It's got to be something. So, it changed the game, man. I mean, now I wake up, I set my own schedule. I put it like that. So I wake up and I do some other stuff in the morning, and then I really start my day at like 10 p.m. and I just crush it. I try to be done by like noon, really. Like if I ain't got a meeting or nothing like that, or on the Friday.
Oh, you mean 10 a.m., right?
I'm sorry, 10 a.m. to about noon to 2 p.m. That's why I try to make my day, just crush it in that 4 to 6 hours or less. And then I'm spending time with my family. Like literally the day I left my last job, I took my wife to lunch. I'm like, listen, it's a beautiful day. You'd have just been in the house. And man, everything's just went up. That's all I can say.
Bro, that's so beautiful, man. So to have 2 to 4 hour work days and you doing it from home or doing it remote. So basically wherever you want to do it from.
Anywhere. Listen, I got somebody else I know, he work remote and we just find spots. He like, hey, go check this out. Man, you can't beat it. That's all I can say. You can't beat it.
Man, that's so beautiful. And for those that are unfamiliar, I don't talk about this a lot on my page just because there are certain things I try to be careful to not say publicly. It's fine to say this during a stream, but if I wouldn't make a Instagram post about this and then they go viral. But, you know, in his line of work, when you're an SDR or BDR, you know, usually it's work where usually, you know, you have to knock out a certain amount of emails or a certain amount of LinkedIn outreach or a certain amount of cold calls. And then once you kind of hit that number, now you could do more than that if you want to, but it's like once you kind of hit that number, and if as long as you know you're doing well, then that's basically it. Like you're done for the day. So in that sense, you could, depending on the company that you're at and depending on the metrics, you could, like he mentioned, have 2-hour work days, 3-hour work days, 4-hour work days, some 6-hour work days, depending on what your own goals are. But that's one of the beautiful, just really lovely benefits of being being an SDR, BDR, that I guess we don't really talk about enough. And so, bro, I love that for you so much, man. I love that for you, for your wife. Like such a huge contrast from what you were doing in trucking. And yeah, like I was a Lyft driver, and I saw a micro version of the stress that truckers deal with, because I would Lyft drive for 8 to 10 or 11 hours a night, and I did it overnight. And yeah, bro, the wear and tear, it's very weird how you can be exhausted just by sitting in a car and driving. And then it's this strange thing, because if you even try to rest mentally too much or daydream too much mentally, then it's like the likelihood of you getting into a car accident goes up. So it's a very interesting element. And yeah, when you talk about the food, like, bro, when you mentioned that piece, my mind was like, bro, that's so true. Because I used to be at the gas station on average probably 4 times a day, something like that. And I remember like the gas station felt so like just the thing that I was always at. Now I rarely go to gas stations. Like I'm like, I stop at the gas station maybe once every other week. I stop at a gas stations feel so foreign to me now. I'm like, this is so weird being at these gas stations again. But no, bro, I love that so much, man. I love, especially, you know, you having more time with your wife and all of that, bro. That's incredibly, incredibly beautiful. From your wife's perspective, I'm assuming y'all talked about this. How has she talked about? And my bad, y'all. We're going to get to y'all's questions in a second. So make sure those of y'all on Instagram that you're putting your questions in the. I think you have to hit a plus sign, and then you're able to add your question in the question bubble. The question bubble will appear. For those of y'all on YouTube and LinkedIn, we're going to be getting to y'all questions soon. For those of y'all that are popping in and you kind of missed out on a bit of the story, just kind of give a quick high level. He was in the trucking industry. He had a trucking business, and you know, he decided he wanted to transition over just for a little bit more peace, be able to spend more time with his wife, all that good stuff. And he ended up Googling, YouTubing some stuff, and then tech sales came up. And he checked that out. He looked a little further, did a little bit more digging. Saw one of those day in my tech life videos that I did, and decided to go ahead and go through with it. He put it into work. He ended up doing the tech sales bootcamp course careers, the one that I'm usually recommending. And again, with a discount link, it's only $449. That's it. But he ended up getting a job without even finishing the boot camp, which happens pretty often. Most people get a good bit of what they need from the boot camp, and they're like, yo, this is good, this is all I need. Or some will still be in the boot camp, but they'll just get a job. They'll still get a job before they finish it. Either way, he got a job. Now he's working remote, making his OTE is $130K, but it's uncapped. He's working remote, spending beautiful time with his wife. and peace of mind, all of that good stuff. Yeah, so I just want to kind of give y'all a quick snapshot of that for those of y'all that are just popping in. So, bro, yeah. So, last question I have, at least for now, then we'll transition over to everyone else's questions. So we spoke about it from your perspective, but when you talk to your wife about it, what has been her perspective on it in terms of like, is she like, yo, I want you out the house more because now you just in my face all the time, or and not in a rude way, but or does she love it? Is she like, man, it's beautiful having you around, being able to build more on our marriage and our relationship? Like, what's your wife's perspective been on it?
Babe, come here. No, I'm just joking. I can tell you this, but so often we'll like go sit on our balcony and just talk, leave the phones in the house, and we just kind of reflect on our day. And I can say it's just a lot more help because like my wife, she's never worked. Like as long as we've been married, she's never worked. So I've just kind of been in the truck, taking care of everything. So she just kind of had to sit at home. So now it's just like get more sunlight, man. That's the best way I can describe it. It's more life because she's not just here with my son, and then prior to us having the son, like it was just her. So yeah, she loved it. It's allowed me to now that I'm not so fatigued and tired, like because when I used to come back in the truck, I used to go straight to sleep, wake up, go right back to work. So now it's like, okay, listen, let me help you out with the kitchen. Let me help you out with this. Let's do this. It ain't every time, but because I'm still working, obviously. But I'm just like, I'll relieve her. And so, yeah, man, she loved it. That's all I can say. She loved it.
Bro, that's so big, man. That's so fire. I mean, shouts out to you. As a husband, even though you were in a different space, a different industry, I'm assuming you weren't making as much as you make now. I know. Let me not say make, because I know.
Oh, in the truck.
Trucking industry, they make a lot of money, but I know it's also something that, based on what I've heard, I haven't been in the trucking industry, so I don't want to speak like I'm an expert on it. But based on what I've heard, I know that trucking can make a lot, but that there are certain expenses as well within it, to where you don't really get to keep as much money.
Yeah, so I was making by far more money in the truck. I probably was doing a quarter. That's the best way I could put it. I was doing a quarter. But it's like even having your own company, the cost of one tire on the blowout on the side of the road is $1,000. You got two tires, they both $400 a piece, minimum $120 an hour, minimum 2 hours, right? Yeah. Then you got transmission work. Like one reason I shut my company down, my transmission went out, and they was like, oh, it's 13 grand. I was like, yo, I sold that truck so fast. I was like, I'm out of here. I'm about to go do something else. So, I mean, right now I'm kind of making my way because I also do other things on the side. Yeah. So I'm making my way back to exceeding what I was making in the truck because I wasn't even keeping a lot of it at the end of the day. So, and I also drive Lyft in the morning. I'll probably do like 4 hours, make a quick 100, and then go actually start my day because I also use that as free promotion for my YouTube channel, stuff like that. So I'm in front of new people every day. So why not? You feel me? I got the time to do it now.
Yeah. That's dope for real. That's super dope. And so, that's incredible. Yeah. And I guess in trucking, it's treated like your own business, correct? So you also did you have to do taxes and stuff on that as well?
Yeah. So I have my own trucking company. So I had to do everything, like absolutely everything.
Yeah, man, that's huge. Like, big respect to you. Technically, income wise, on paper, what you were bringing in has gone down, but obviously now your bag is going up, and now you're able to enjoy more of it without the outward expenses. And now, because of that extra time that you have, you're able to spend more time with your wife. You're able to work more on your relatively new business venture that you have. So I think that's such an incredible thing, man. What I love about it is that you're doing it the right way. And no shade to anybody else. Everybody, you do whatever God calls you to do or leads you to do. But I love the way that you're going about it as a husband, where you're not using it as an excuse to just be like, okay, cool, I'm good, I'm chilling now. But now you're leveraging this free time to be able to reinvest your time back into other ventures that you believe God has placed in your heart for you to do. So I think that's incredible. Yeah, just the way you've been going about it, man. So I definitely, I just love it. I love what you're doing, and I pray just more blessings on you and more elevation in your life that God has for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And I would say, like I said, downsizing everything helps. Because I did have my life set up a certain way when I had my truck, but once the money stopped, I'm like, listen, I can't afford this no more. So I brought everything down. So now, and then also I wasn't dealing with my money wisely when I had the truck. So now that I have the knowledge, the discipline, the wisdom, things of that nature, now as my finances increase, I'm still going to stay right here and build a tremendous buffer. And then I'm going to move. Basically, I'm going to increase when necessary. Like right now, I don't have a reason to have a house. I don't have a reason to have certain things because it's just not necessary right now. So I'm going to just be stacking, investing in certain things, put my money in places and just have it moving. And like I said, when necessary, then I move to that next level. But I would already have increased, that net by 10.
Yeah, that's fire, man. I love that. Yeah, I love the way you're going about it for real. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get to these questions so y'all don't beat me up. I've got a bunch of different questions that are popping in. For those of y'all that are on YouTube and LinkedIn and you're asking questions like, what boot camp did you do? If you did a boot camp, just look at the description. There's a description underneath the stream. You can click on it and the full description will pop up for you to look at, be able to look at what he did. Yes, I'm pretty sure. For those of y'all that are telling Amma to not cuss just because she said the word hell, look, I'm a Christian, but people can say what they want to say on this stream. As long as you're not being rude to anybody or rude to me or rude to him, it's like, yo, just we're grown. Like talk how you're gonna talk. Ain't nobody getting policed on here. If anybody gonna police you, it's gonna be Instagram or YouTube or LinkedIn. They're the only ones you got to worry about.
And it's people going to hell. So I mean,
it's like hell is a word.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, I'm pretty sure his company is hiring, but as I say,
my company is not hiring at all.
Okay, cool. All right, so that correction, his company isn't hiring right now, but also,
and I can explain that a little bit if you want to.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so they were looking for a BDR to do all the tasks and everything the CEO wasn't able to do. So I'm sure it's people who's well qualified to do what I'm doing. I just put myself in front of him. And the reason why he hired me was like, look, you're the only person that got my attention how I wanted it. So I was like, I just took the same stuff I already knew when I got the interview the first job. I just duplicated it and made it a little more simple. And then I broke it taking 2 weeks. And this job, I landed in 1 week.
Incredible. Yeah. So the first one was 2 weeks. The second one was twice as fast. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Dang, that's
so I'm the only BDR on the team. As he hired SDRs, I'll just continue to move up. So he's duplicating himself through me, and he's pushing me up the chain. So that's the major difference with this company.
So let me. I got questions, but let's get to everybody else's questions. I don't ask enough.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. All right, so. Faith Wilkins, yes, I have seen I know some software engineers that job stack with tech sales, but specifically what he's doing. So not account executive role. You're not going to be able to job stack with an account executive role or a sales engineering role. You can do it if you're doing like a SDR or BDR role, like what he's doing. You definitely can do that. Yeah. So for those of y'all that don't know what job stacking is or overemployment, it's essentially where you're working at multiple tech companies at the same time, because if you're working remote, you can literally hop in and out of different meetings and different companies. The fact that on some of his days, he's only working 2 hours or up to 4 hours a day, technically, if he wanted to, he could job stack at another tech company doing the same thing if he chose to do that.
And I'm definitely not, I just don't need to, and that's just I like my freedom. Like I'm not about to now have to hit 2 quotas, and I'm already making what I need. So nah.
Yeah, I'm most likely about to start job stacking. My plan is I'm actually about to switch industries in tech. I'm going to do something. I'll make an announcement. I feel like it's like one of those things where you're a basketball player, you're a college player. Oh,
You about to flop? I mean, about to flip?
or my bad, are you a high school player and you announcing what team you gonna go, what college you gonna go play for? I'm low key about to make one of those moves. But yeah, mine more so is me transitioning to a different industry in tech. And so that's gonna be a huge announcement. But when I do that, eventually I do plan on job stacking with 2 or 3 companies to be able to do that, because obviously, as most of y'all know, like Tech is the New Black, we are a for-profit business. But kind of going back to what you were saying, bro, I'm in a season like last year and the year before was a lot of me flexing my money and a lot of me flexing the blessings, the financial blessings of being in tech and the freedom. But now, man, I'm kind of over the flexing stuff. I say this as I'm wearing a Givenchy jacket, but I'm over the I'm over the like, you know, flexing and spending a lot of money on stupid things. At this point, people know what it is, and now I'm really big on downsizing. So I'm probably going to be leaving the country. So I'm probably going to be moving out of the country and moving somewhere where my money goes 4 or 5 times as far, so that I can save and invest 2 to 3 times as much money as I have. But part of the reason why I also want to do that is because I don't want to touch any of the money that Tech is the New Black is making anymore. I want to put all of that back into Tech is the New Black so we can do more to help more people get in tech, scale in tech. We want to start partnering with tech companies that are mass hiring and doing stuff to really help our community out a lot more. So anyway, I'm just saying that just to kind of talk about in line with just where my headspace is at. Is very similar to your headspace, where it's like, yeah, I actually want to downsize. Even though money is going up, it's like I want to downsize because a lot of this stuff is silly after a while. I use a lot of it as marketing, as lifestyle marketing to show people, yo, because when I first got in the industry and I was telling people about it, literally I saw a comment. I was doing a stream similar to this and someone commented, and they said, there's no way that he's making this kind of money. They said, look at where he's living at. Because I was like, stayed in my regular. I was like, why would I upgrade? But I was like, you know what? Let me start doing some lifestyle content to show people what it is. No, I'm not going to move to Dubai because the dollar doesn't. The U.S. dollar is 3.6 times the dirham, which is the Dubai's money. But if you're gonna actually stay in if you're gonna actually enjoy Dubai, then that's where the prices are hiked up, and it's not much different.
No payments. You got to buy everything out there.
Yeah, and it's not that much different after a while. So I'm considering somewhere in South America is what I'm actually thinking. That way, it's only a 1 or 2, 3 hour flight max to get back to Miami or to Atlanta, and so yeah, I've since downsized. I don't have 2 properties anymore. I'm not in Miami and Atlanta anymore like I was before. And so I just really been like, yo, let me pull back from all of this stuff and let me like lock in now to really be able to do more and help more people. Somebody say, Cyrus, get that Mexico tax save. I might move out there where Troy is at, which Troy is the founder of Course Careers. I've been out there and seen him before in Playa de Carmen. I might go out to Playa. Anyway, let's get back to answer y'all's questions. Yes, Faith Wilkins, they do. They assist with resume, with LinkedIn. They do interview coaching. They do all of that stuff. I'm aware of a lot of the coaches and stuff at Course Careers. They're like top tier people. They're really dope. Anyway, so let's get to these questions. A lot of y'all put questions here on Instagram. Someone asked, what is your YouTube channel name?
Everything is my name. If you just search me on Google, look, I got the algorithm. The second you start typing my last name, I'm the only person that pops up just because of what I told you.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ12. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ12 right now And support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
What I used to do on YouTube, so I know a little bit of stuff.
Yeah.
So everything.
Yeah, and yes. So just type in his name on YouTube. Have I heard of any success from the HR course from Course Careers? You put career course, but I know you mean Course Careers. Yes, I've heard of some of it. I eventually might bring some people on that have done it. I personally, I've heard of it. I'll just answer the question. Let me move on to something else. All right. Can people outside of the U.S. have access to this remote job? Yes, you can. But keep in mind, you will have less opportunities with U.S. companies. So you'll have better opportunities with non-U.S. companies, with companies that are, when you're talking tech sales, or which is called a customer-facing role, it's better for you to be in the same or close to the same time zone as that company's customers are, or their main clientele. So that's the main thing that these companies care about. But yes, technically you can. I'm going to skip through and find a question I feel is more specific for you. All right, cool. So what application did you use to find the job?
Ooh, all right. Hey, okay. So I have a website that only shows startup tech companies. It's called Well Found. I'm sure you probably heard of it. But Well Found, you can put your parameters. It's only startup tech companies.
Yeah, that's fire. And you can, it's always dope to do stuff like that. You can also use, for those of y'all that want other options, so definitely check that out, Well Found. Also, the number one that I usually recommend is for people to use Y Combinator. Most people know of Y Combinator is something for startups, or if you're an aspiring business owner, or you are a business owner, and let's say your business is scaling and you're looking for funding, Y Combinator is arguably the best platform for that. But I found a hack that I've taught people within my Techpreneur Discord community. The hack is where you use Y Combinator. You can filter out companies that are hiring. You can choose the exact type of company you want to work at. So let's say you want to work at let's say you have a background in healthcare or in the medical field, but you want to do tech sales. You can filter Y Combinator to where it'll only show you health tech companies or med tech companies. So now you're a higher top candidate, and then you can filter it to where it only shows you companies that are remote and companies that are hiring. And sometimes you can filter the pay range as well sometimes. So that's a bit of a hack. That's like one of the little hacks and stuff that I show. That I show the community, but again, it's not about there being just one option. It's about, like you mentioned, Well Found. It's about you testing out a few different options. So let's get to.
I just say try everything and don't say nothing or come back until you get a job. That's the best way I can put it. Just if you didn't get a job, keep going.
Yeah, big facts. All right, cool. All right, so the next question. So I feel like his story, his testimony, it doesn't negate what you're saying, but I feel that it shows that, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but I'm a pretty blunt person. It's showing that you're giving an excuse. So the question is, how will we break into tech and make 130K with no prior experience? The tech market is also really bad right now. So the market isn't bad right now. The market isn't just as good as it was in 2020. But guess what? That's for every industry. Every industry. The trucking industry was doing better back in 2020. The dang near every industry was doing better back in 2020. Most industries were. Obviously, there was a lot of industries that were hit. The tech industry is hot right now. It's not as hot as it was in 2020. It might not ever be as hot as it was in 2020. But you can go on LinkedIn, you can go on any of these platforms, and you will see. You know what? Let me do this. Somebody, let's play a game. I'm gonna show y'all how hot it is. Let's play a game. I'm on my jigsaw right now. tell me a field of like an industry. So I already mentioned healthcare. If you want to say healthcare, I'm gonna look for a comment. List the industry. Whether you want to say healthcare or where can I see the comments? Okay, cool. Somebody throw out an industry. We about to play a game.
Credit.
I don't even know how you would find a credit.
That's what I work for, by the way. That's why I said that.
Oh yeah, you work credit. All right, cool. All right, someone said manufacturing. So those of y'all that are on YouTube and LinkedIn, you will be able to see that because I'm going to share my screen. But those of y'all on Instagram, y'all are just gonna have to listen. So I'm going to go to Y Combinator. So we're going to show how specific we can go to a specific industry, and even within that specific industry, we're going to show how many tech sales jobs there are just for that specific industry that are hiring specifically. So let's go to Y Combinator. Ooh, I don't want to use Bing search. Google, baby. Let me share my screen. So those of y'all that are on Instagram and YouTube, y'all can follow along. Boop. Y Combinator. Boom. Now, I haven't done this in a minute, so I'm going to try to move through here as quickly as possible. For those of y'all that are on Instagram that can't see what I'm doing, I'm sharing my screen for YouTube and LinkedIn. So I'm going to go to companies. Boom. So I'm literally going to show y'all what I was just talking about. Now, again, I haven't done this in a minute, so I might be a little slow. So first, let's go to manufacturing. Industry. Here we go. Industries. So I'm clicking the drop down and I'm just narrating for those that are on Instagram. Not industries. I want to see manufacturing when I put in industries. Healthcare, real estate, government, specific. See fewer options. Yeah, I am sucking at this right now in terms of how slow I'm moving. So let's see if I can type in manufacturing. Oh, that's not how you spell manufacturing. Don't anybody judge me. Why in the world? I think they updated or changed the platform because this drop-down list used to be way longer when it was all industries. So let's look at another one that I could probably find. Is this all companies or just startups? Okay, cool. So I'll literally show you what I was talking about. Industrials. Okay, I guess that's close to manufacturing, industrials. So we can go to industrials, and then we can go to, so these are only startups. My bad, I'm on the startups list. That's why it's limited. We can go to industrials, and we can go to hiring, and then we can go to the roles. I'm messing this up really bad, y'all. I'm messing this up really bad. All right, so this example straight up flop because I should have practiced this, did a practice run before I came through here because I'm on the wrong side of it. I don't need to be at the startup directory. I need to be at the directory with companies that are not startups. Anyway, that being said, there are tens of thousands of companies. We'll use LinkedIn as a different example. So we can go to jobs, SDR. Oh, I'm not even looking at jobs. So mind you, mine is going to be a little skewed because mine right now has mainly sales engineering. If you look down here, you'll see a whole bunch of sales engineering roles because that's how mine is filtered. Nevertheless, on here, I will type in sales development representative. And you'll see right up here at the top, there are 3,105 results. So technically speaking, right now, I could apply to 3,105 sales development openings that are hiring right now. And that's just this week. This doesn't count for the other ones that are going to pop up next week. Now let's type in business development representative. All right, there are 2,562 companies hiring for business development representative. And then if we put in remote, we can see how many of those are hiring for remote specifically. So we see 541. And also you can type in BDR. There are some companies that don't have a business development representative. Some companies have it listed BDR. And then some companies have it titled inside sales rep, or they have it titled this. So that being said, depending on how you play with the title, you can find at least 12 to 15,000 companies that are hiring for these roles. Now, I share this just to show you don't need 50,000 companies hiring in order for you to have a hiring opportunity. You only need X amount. Like, Daryl, I know you were putting a lot of work in when it came to hiring, but you got hired at your first company. Like, he got hired during this market. He got hired when the market was actually bad, which was November, and he got hired again recently with the company that he's with now.
Not even a month, though.
Yeah. You said not even a month. What? Not even a month ago?
Yep, not even a month. I just started with the company I'm with right now.
Yeah, and remember, so not only did he just started his company a month ago, and he started his other company last year in November, but also keep in mind his first company, he got hired in 2 weeks of him applying. The second one, it was only like one week, a 1 week process.
I reached out Friday. He said, let's have a meeting Monday. And then by that Friday, I had my offer letter.
Yeah. And again, y'all, this isn't to dismiss anyone that's saying that, because again, the market is not as hot as it was in 2020. And actually, it also depends on what you're looking for, because in reality, I can't say the market isn't going to be that good again, because of AI and because of new industries that are being created, it's creating a whole new industry that needs technology. There are hella AI companies that are popping up that need tech sales reps. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. Whenever a tech company pops up, depending on what kind of tech company it is, particularly if it's a B2B company, one of the first roles that they end up needing to hire for are SDR, BDR. It's very rare that a company waits until later to hire for SDR, BDR. Like, it sounds like the company he's at did, where the CEO is basically doing that job. But once a company scales to a certain point, they start hiring sales reps. That's a very early on thing. To be able to push the product and get it out there. Because, they got there's only really 3 ways to get the word out there for your product. You can either do paid marketing, and whether that's organic or inorganic, whether you're leveraging a social media influencer, or if you're actually running ads or posting on social media. So you can either do paid marketing. You have word of mouth. That's what your clients. So your clients telling other people about it, word of mouth spreading. Or you have sales reps. Those are the only 3 ways to be able to get the word out there. So that being said, understand that the tech sales is hot. It's always going to be hot. Is it as hot as it was in 2020? Probably not, but it's super hot right now, super hot. But the market is also competitive though. And that's why we do these tech testimony streams. It's not just for y'all to hear his dope story and be like, wow, that's incredible. Claps for Daryl. That's amazing, Daryl. It's so you hear what he did, which he dropped some of the gems earlier, what he did, so it can pique your mind as to different things you can do. And so that way you're not limited. Go ahead, bro.
I was going to say, sorry, I should have, it's Darrell, by the way. That's my fault.
My fault. No, you're good.
Yeah.
No, Darrell, no.
So I would say if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, right? You have to unlock your creativity. When you look at these job applications, at the bottom, it always says diversity, right? So they don't want copycat robots applying for the job, because that's what everybody else is doing. That's what AI is replacing, which is commonality. So you have to come in and see, how can I not only come in at an area where everybody else, but I need to be looked at a certain way above them because of the work that I'm putting in. It's not saying that you're better than them. It's just simply saying, hey, this guy wants it more than you. So like, and I've had that question in interview. Well, why should you get this job over somebody else? And typically I just tell them, I don't know what they got going on in their life, but I can tell you about myself. Like, that's all I know. So yeah, I would just say that you got to seek A+ results with the work you put in when applying, and you will land the job.
Big facts. And yeah, no reason to apologize. That was an honest question. I hope my tone didn't come off like as if I thought it was a stupid question. I just see that question pretty often, and I'm always taken aback because I'm like, yo, like people DM me all day, every day that they getting jobs, that they're getting multiple offers in that industry. DM me though, because the industry you're talking about, I'm pretty sure that's hiring pretty well too. So DM me. Also, for anyone that wants additional assistance, or you want to be a part of a tech community, you want updates on tech events, you want to attend more of our tech events, you need coaching with recruiters, so on and so forth. We have a techpreneur community. You can join Texas New Black's techpreneur community. It's just $27 a month. We stream with the community 2 to 3 times a week with recruiters, with talent sourcers. We have recruiters within the community. We have internal hiring. So people are constantly, at least every other day, being like, yo, my company is hiring right now. You know, who's looking to get hired for this role and this role. We're actually doing a stream this Saturday with the company that's mass hiring for an internal job referral. So comment, if you're on Instagram, comment community. And if you're on LinkedIn or YouTube, look at the description, the drop down, and you can click to join the community. And that gives you access to all of the things that we're doing. And so, yeah, anyway, that being that, let's get to the next one.
One question? Oh, go ahead.
No, you can go ahead. If you see a question, you can answer it.
Yeah, one person asked, if I work less hours, doesn't that affect my pay? Since I'm salary, I got unlimited PTO, and that's just what it is. I don't have to work 8 hours to make 8 hours worth of pay. I just get one check a month, and it's just what it is.
Yeah. It's just a set amount that he's paid. Now he gets paid more based off of how many. So when he does the email outreaches, the phone call outreaches, maybe LinkedIn outreach, whatever outreach he does, he gets paid extra solely off of someone, and correct me if I'm wrong, bro, solely off of a prospect showing up to a call or showing up to like a demo call. That's usually how it goes for BDR, SDR. Is it the same way for you, or is it different? Yeah,
so every time somebody show up, which is a book meeting, I get what is that? I guess my quota pay 4 times a year. That's just one check on top of whatever I get. But when the deal closes, I get a nice percentage on that, and that's where it gets, into the 130s and stuff like that. So,
yeah, my bad, y'all. I see y'all over here on YouTube. For those that are asking about other roles, like I see someone mention data analytics. So the same discount link that I have, that's for tech sales, what he does, it also is for data analytics. It's also for It's for a variety of different roles. I'm not going to go through the whole list of all the roles, but it's for a variety of different roles, software engineering, so on and so forth. So if you're interested in something else and you don't want to do tech sales, and definitely still check out the course. If you want a discount, then just make sure you use my discount link so that way you'll get the discount. Your company is a startup, correct?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Oh, and also my bad, Deja, going back to your question about because since you said that you're talking about DevOps. No, I have friends they get like multiple offers every day for DevOps. And I might be exaggerating. I can say they get multiple offers every week for DevOps. And I literally have screenshots in my phone from friends sending me messages like, yep, just got another offer, specifically a friend of mine who's in DevOps. So again, I think the biggest thing that hurts a lot of people when in terms of getting offers, and I'm talking about my friends, like companies reaching out to them in their DMs. I'm not even talking about them applying. So there are ways you can attract companies to you. You don't always have to go out and look for companies. And that's one of the things that we teach. We talk about in the techpreneur community is how to brand yourself and utilize LinkedIn to where companies are reaching out to you. Um, I am a product owner. Is tech sales a good transition for me? So not really. It depends on what you want to do in tech sales. Not what he's doing. That wouldn't be a good transition for you. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So good question. Someone asked, "What do you do in tech sales?" Which, of course, you're a BDR. They're interested to know. They're interested to know what do you sell. So can you explain to them, I guess, what you sell in your company? And I
Yes.
do this because he's not selling anything, but even though he's in tech sales. But go ahead.
Yeah. So my company is called Credit Mountain. And the software or the solution that we have pretty much replaces the adverse action notice when somebody get declined. And it sends them a electronic version of that and a path forward on how to pretty much get approved at a later date. So that's what our software is. So it's good because I used to have my own credit company. So now working with credit is just, it meshed like extremely well.
Yo, that's cool. I love that. Is the company, and I think you said this already, it's leveraging AI?
Technically, we got certain tools, obviously, but the main thing is just using the system to basically ease up with credit, because our target is credit unions. So we use this system to lighten their load, but also it retains the relationship with their members instead of just somebody getting a decline and then they never apply for a loan with them again. So with this, is like, okay, well, look, we've declined you, but this is how you go about actually getting approved. And here's a counter offer just in case, you're interested in this product until, a later date, kind of like what Navy Federal does.
Everybody, I usually don't say this too often, but someone told me to start doing this. Make sure y'all hit the like button, especially on YouTube and LinkedIn. I never say that, but it's like it be showing 5,000 views and 5 likes. So hit the like button so that way it can help my content and stuff perform better on YouTube. My YouTube algorithm been dropping. My YouTube money been getting low. I used to be making like $4,500 a month off of YouTube, just people watching. And now I'm getting like, shoot, I think my last payout was like $1,200. I was hurting. I don't like that. But
look, when I had my YouTube channel, I used to stop my live stream and I tell everybody watching, this is before I hit like over 500 subscribers. I would stop the live stream. I'm like, everybody go bring another person in here and then I'll finish my stream. So I was very adamant about the growth. And once I got to 500, the next week, like by the end of that month, I was at like 10K subscribers. So, and my watch time, everything was just up. So once that momentum is there, you just gotta keep it going, because once you stop, it just tank.
Man, that's big. Yeah, do what the YouTubers, like I'm not a YouTuber. Do what the YouTubers do. Smash the like button.
Yeah, hit that like button, subscribe.
All right, cool. So you spoke to this earlier, but I'm assuming she probably didn't see it. Did you have prior experience to help you get your current job?
My current job, yes. My first job, no. So I only accepted my first job because I had bills to pay and I looked at what I could afford and I was okay with $20 an hour. So that ramped up in my experience. And one thing I would say that kind of will help you when you do get into tech to separate yourself from everybody else. Look what they're doing and exceed that. So like people will come into work, okay, we got to make 50 calls a day, this and that. So I come in 2 hours earlier, I'm making 70, 80 calls before everybody get in the office. So by the time they come, y'all not catching up for one, and I'm just going to exceed with whatever I'm doing, obviously. So that's what I did to stand out and help me in my interview, because he asked me what separated me from everybody else. And I just told him exactly that.
All right, I don't see any questions on YouTube. We got some stuff from the community. My bad, y'all. My bad, Cam. So from the techpreneur community, it's did you get to my comment already? Oh dang, how did I miss it? Let me see. Oh, you said Taylor. So Taylor, and he's speaking about my co-host, one of the co-hosts at the Techpreneur Con. She's a BDR for IBM. He said, Taylor told me to go for a remote SDR roles because North Carolina SDR roles pay extremely low compared to other states. Yeah, I always encourage people to apply remote. Like, apply for remote roles. I'll never understand why someone will apply for something that's local. Yeah, because especially if you're in a state that doesn't, a state or a city that doesn't have a higher pay, you definitely want to apply for some remote roles instead. Let's see. All right. So Cam asked, did they give you a work from home stipend?
Interesting. So when I left my last company, they kept my last check. And when I got with this company, my sign-on bonus was the exact same amount that they kept from my last check. So it was just like, he was just like, hey, we're going to order you a MacBook. You use this for whatever you want. So yeah, I got my sign-on bonus got paid like the next, like it was on Friday. I got the offer letter. I got that on Monday.
So, ooh, yeah. Look at God. Like,
yep.
nah, we gonna get your get back for real.
Yeah.
No, that's dope. That's lovely. That's lovely. All right, see if any other questions popped up because we about to wrap up.
I would say prayer too, man. I mean, it's easily looked over, but especially if you believe in God, I mean, oftentimes you can be outside of his will trying to do stuff that he don't have in your path, and it's just not going to work. So one thing that I pray for is that he align my will with his, and I've just make it a vow that, look, whatever you put in front of me, I'm going to just go do it. And this was one of those things, and now I'm working my way up the charts, man.
Kareem, CompTIA A+. Well, first, amen to what he said. I agree with that 100%. Kareem, no, CompTIA A+ is irrelevant. It cannot be more relevant to a tech sales job. Will they adjust your pay based on your geographic location? Sometimes it depends on the company, but most times you can negotiate to make sure you're being paid fairly on what they're paying other people at the company, and not try to hoe you off based on where you live at. Because some companies will try to do that. I've had companies that wanted me to move. This is before I got in the industry, when I was initially applying, and I had companies that wanted me to move to New York, but they were trying to pay me. I think one was trying to pay me $110,000, and I was like, "That's crazy." I said, "If that's like me living in Atlanta and I'm making $60,000 or $70,000. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. And so then there were other companies that were trying to pay me. They're like, oh, well, you live in Atlanta. So I was like, but your company is based here. And most of your other sales engineers are probably making this much. So no, I want to be paid what you're paying everyone else. So you can negotiate things, or you could just negotiate the market average. That's one thing that companies look pretty goofy. If they try to pay you below market average, you can always just look up what the average is in the market and then to present that. You can negotiate even after you get your offer letter. One thing a lot of y'all don't know, and I don't talk about this enough, when you get your offer letter, that's not it. That doesn't mean, this is all you can get. Also, you can negotiate other things. It doesn't even necessarily have to be how much you're making. You can negotiate a sign-on bonus, like he mentioned. So let's say a company,
equity as well.
Thank you for touching that piece. Yes, you could negotiate the equity. You can negotiate how much equity you get. For those of y'all that don't know too much about equity or what that is, that's basically how you get rich. Depending on if you're at a startup or early on company, your equity could end up being worth millions of dollars. To where if you're at a company and you're only making 120, 150, 160, the equity play. Now, mind you, I'm oversimplifying it. There are many other variables included into it. So I don't want to make it seem like, okay, you get equity in your company, you're going to become a millionaire. It's a lot of factors that depends on the company, depends on where the company's at, what stage the company is at. It depends on the valuation of the company when they go public. It depends on the how long you have to stay at the company before you're able to actually see all of that. It's a bunch of variables, but that's one of the hacks that people in tech do to become millionaires. Where I did a stream. We did a stream with the techpreneur community just 2 weeks ago with a homeboy of mine who is on track to being a millionaire. He targets companies based off of the news. So he literally looks at what's happening in the news and he's like, "Ooh, I'm going to go work at that company." And he'll go and interview for that company. because he knows that company, he can predict based on what that company's doing, that in the next couple of years, he treats it like an investment. The same way people watch the news to see what company to invest their money in, he doesn't have to do that. He'll invest what company he works for, because not only is he going to get a fat check, a $250,000 check working for the company, but now because he has equity in the company, when the company goes public or whatever, whatever the company does, he's able to get an extra hundreds of thousands of dollars to maybe millions of dollars within the company. Think about NVIDIA. NVIDIA is one of the companies that he applied to. He lost out on NVIDIA, but he gets offers from Amazon or AWS and all these other companies, these big tech companies. So he treats working at tech companies like an investment. So that way he can get that big equity back. So y'all don't sleep on that. And that's something you can negotiate as well, just like he just mentioned for y'all. So there's a lot of different things you can negotiate even after you get the offer letter. Don't sleep on that. All right, cool. So we're going to make sure the last couple of questions that we address are specific to you. Job stacking and overemployment is very common. I can't say how common it is, but it's very common. That's funny. Yeah, Christina, one of the community members, Christina, said, join the community if y'all trying to get the rest of the sauce, the rest of the game. Again, on Instagram, comment community. All right, somebody said they're going to connect with you. Or Cam said he's going to connect with you on LinkedIn. All right, y'all. I don't see any other questions unless I'm tripping. When you started applying, what were you looking for specifically?
Regarding like the type of job?
I don't know. That's all I see from the question is when you started applying, what were you looking for? Or no, my bad. Were you looking for that specifically? I'm assuming.
Oh, the job that I'm working for.
Yeah.
So everything got to do with my prayer, right? I wanted to make 6 figures. That was the first thing. I knew I was qualified, so it was just a matter of finding the best fit. But also a company that I can get in. That's why I use Well-Found, because that's how I found this company. But that I can get in the beginning, because it's like very rare that you will get in a company like when they begin. So that's pretty much what I did. And then I seen it and I was like, hey, well, it's either it's gonna stick or it ain't, right? So the worst I can hear is no. So I just applied. And it's crazy because I was looking at one of your videos and somebody's like, he had left a tech company after 3 months because they were doing layoffs and he had word of it. So he applied. So that was the same thing at my last company. They use the word optimize, which is like, we're optimized departments. We're cutting costs. We're getting rid of people. So when I start hearing that, I'm like, oh, this sounds familiar. So let me set myself up. And then that, it led to where I'm at now. So.
Another great question. Someone asked, how many jobs and interviews did you do before getting hired? So we know that you only took you a week to get this job at the company right now. It took you 2 weeks before. So applying, you only applied to one company?
I applied to a few companies. I set my sight on one company. So it's like I applied to the others because I'm qualified just in case, hey, if this don't work. But the one that I want to get, I put all my efforts into that company because this is the one that I want to get. So I'm going to do, different stuff. And I had another one that I really wanted to get into as well. It had to do with, it was a trucking factoring company, but I knew about trucking. So I basically looked for jobs that I was already familiar with because I know the lingo, I know the pain points because I have my own trucking company. So they just was like, hey, we just go on other candidates who are further in the process because I applied kind of late. And I still get decline letters to this day. And I don't care. I got my job. Like that's the part, exactly. Whatever stick is going to stick. So just apply, put it in the work, but also take it to the next level.
Somebody asked a question over here. This junk is funny. I almost don't even want to address it. I'll get some context first. I did a stream. I think it couldn't have been last week. I think it was the week before last week. I did a stream. I did a street interview with a homeboy of mine. I literally was in North Carolina. Yeah, I was in North Carolina, and I was getting brunch, and somebody drove by, and this dude stopped at a stop sign. He was like, "Yo, Cyrus," and he was someone that was following me, and he was like, "Bro, I got in tech. And I was okay. That's cool." So I told him, I say, "Bro, park the car, pull up, let's talk." So he pulled up, we talked a little bit, and I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna do a quick street interview with you." So I did a street interview with him because I was already waiting on a few other friends to come. I was waiting on Shanae, who's a popular tech recruiter, her husband, to pull up. So I was like, "Yo, I'll do an interview with you too." Because he's job stacking, he's making I think a little over or around about $300,000 right now. He's only been in the DevOps industry for I can't even remember anymore. It was something like he's only been in for 3 months, I think 3 or 4 months, and it was funny because people didn't believe it. Like people was like, "There's no way," and so I was like, "No." So we did a stream, and he explained in the stream. He kept it real. He said, well, first he's job stacking. So he's working at 2 companies. But what's crazier is that he has a senior DevOps role. So people are like, where are you a senior for your first couple DevOps jobs? But he admitted that he finessed on his resume. He was like, "Yo, he finessed on his resume and his LinkedIn. He finessed so that way the companies would even take him serious, so he'd get those higher roles and higher salary offers." And so once he mentioned he just basically finessed it, which is a lot of people in the industry do that. Like a lot of people in the industry do that. So now this question someone's asking, they said,
did I finesse?
They said, did your resume have experience or did you finesse?
Oh man. All right, well, let's answer that question. So everything on my resume was absolute factual. I just changed some of the words, right? So I managed the trucking account. So I put trucking transportation account manager instead of truck driver because I managed this transportation account. Like I was the one over that load. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that was the only thing that I did I had to cater it to the role that I'm applying to. Nobody wants a McDonald's worker. Oh, I'm breaking into tech, and no knock on McDonald's worker. I'm just saying I put it like this. So the CEO of my company is duplicating himself within me. I see certain people's resumes. I'm like, there is no way. Like, there's just because I'm on the emails. Like, I see everything coming in. So when I'm looking at these resumes, I'm like, bro, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you could have just got a consultation. You could have had ChatGPT type this. So, but everything I did was factual in the interview. Like, I didn't. The thing is, when this also comes with serving God. When you just truthful, you don't gotta lie about nothing. Like his stuff is just gonna line the way it is, and you're gonna get it. So I had to worry about none of that stuff.
You heard it here first. All right, bet y'all. Look, so we about to go ahead and wrap this up. This is good. Somebody said this is too smooth. You gotta love it. Yeah, no, man, bro. This is really, really a beautiful story, man. Beautiful testimony of you getting in the industry and you scaling. Yeah, bro. What city are you based in again?
I'm based out of San Antonio.
Okay, Texas. Do you plan on going to any tech events this year?
Now that I'm remote, possibly. I can't say so. Typically, like my weekends is always like all the way booked. So I mean, if it's something during the week, yeah, but I can say I can try, but I'm not making no promises just because I'm typically booked all weekend.
Yeah, bro. Well, hopefully I'm able to see you maybe at Afrotech later this year, or
yeah. I mean, well, I put it like this: like,
you want to.
Yeah. So I'm traveling now that I'm remote. Like, I'm about to start traveling a little bit. So we can just link like on the simple Starbucks. What's up? How you doing? I'm cool with that too. Like, I don't. Yeah, I just prefer that anyway. So that's cool.
Oh, dang, I did the wrong thing. Am I still paused on Instagram? Okay, I'm not pausing. All right, cool. All right, no, I'm definitely down for that. For those of y'all that don't know, of course, TechpreneurCon just happened this past weekend. We have an upcoming event. We have an upcoming event that's going to be in Cabo. So for those of y'all that's trying to be on some vacay vibes, but also want to be able to network with people in tech, learn from leaders in the industry, all that good stuff, make sure that y'all do join the join the techpreneur community so you can get first dibs on the heads up with that, as well as the largest discount. Because for TechpreneurCon, the event that we had, a lot of people who were in the community early on, they actually got to come to the event completely for free. Versus others, the tickets were, even the lowest the tickets were was about $200. So we definitely cater to our community when it comes to events and other things that we do. So again, if you're interested in getting resources and internal hiring referrals, stuff like that, make sure you join the Techpreneur community. Just comment community on Instagram or on LinkedIn, YouTube. Just look at the drop down, so that way you can click the link to be able to join the community. It's only $27 a month. It comes with a whole bunch of cool resources and really community, which is the most important thing. God made us for community. Aside from that, y'all, look, this has been a dope live. I love hearing stories like this. I love hearing stories like this in general, but it's always special to me whenever it's, just be real, whenever it's a married man who is providing for his family, who has God's vision within him. It's always a dope thing to see, a beautiful thing to see. So yeah, man.
On my jacket right here, I am.
What does that mean? Yeah, I am. What is? Oh, like God, like I am.
Yeah, Exodus 3:14. I am that I am. That's what that's for.
Yeah. Yo, that's fire.
Yes,
no, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Hey, look, man, major blessings to see you again. Thank all y'all for tuning in, for coming with some great questions, for being engaged. Look, y'all, when all of y'all break into tech, hey, DM me, let me know, let myself and the team know, so that way you can come on and share your tech testimony, because your story is unique. Your story is unique to mine. It's unique to his. And there are some people that are going to need to hear your story to be inspired, or hear your story to learn how you went about doing it, so they can implement some of those same things as well. So definitely let us know, so that way we can all help more people and not be gatekeepers. Other than that, y'all have a beautiful, lovely night. Grace and peace. Boop.
Oh, cool.
Let me end the stream over here.
At Emory University, we believe in those with the ambition to achieve, the passion to learn, and the optimism to see the possibilities ahead. Founded on a belief that the wise heart seeks knowledge, and Emory education combines experiential learning in Atlanta and beyond with unrivaled collaboration and discovery, all to prepare you for a world that needs your leadership. Learn more at emory.edu.